We're here in Pelican Rapids today, founded in 1883 when there were only 700 people living here. We're going to find out about the rich history, and it all started in part because of this mill that was behind me here. The water was flowing over, but notice the water is not flowing over today because they're getting ready for a major change here in Pelican Rapids. Brent Fraser grew up in this area, so he's got great memories. Plus, he's the mayor of Pelican Rapids, so he is involved in the changes that are going on. He tells me that the look of the river right now is because they drained it to get ready for this big construction project. First of all, tell us, we admitted our ages, so I know that you're 72. So
I'm
I know
older than you.
Yeah, you're a little older than I am. So you've got some great memories of coming here to the falls and to the Pelican.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Yes. Well, I basically grew up here from 12 years of age and on in Pelican Rapids. And we used to come down to the foot of the dam, the Pelican statue down there. There's a platform. We used to stand there and along the riverbed and with our rods and reels and catch fish, you know.
Did you catch anything?
Oh yes, definitely. It was mostly hammer-handled northerns, but yeah, we had a great time. And there used to be a power cable that was strung across there, and that power cable was full of daredevils and lures and fishing line dangling from it that, you know, the kids have cast it too far and got the power cable by mistake.
Oh.
Yeah, but we had a great time. The riverbank was full of bicycles because we used to bike down here from our homes, and we'd spend all morning, go home and eat, and come back in the afternoon.
Now, Raina, our photographer, is not as old as you and I are, but she has the same kind of memories.
Yes.
And some of her daredevil friends would even go underneath the falls, behind the falls, and go swimming behind there. So fast forward, time passes, many decades, and now you're in charge of the city, and the DNR comes and says this is all going to change. Now, what's that going to be like?
Well, the DNR came to us approximately 3 years ago, because this dam here at Pelican Rapids was on the 10 most dangerous dams in Minnesota.
Oh.
Not meaning that it's going to cave in any moment, but they do inspections every year, and this was rated as a dangerous dam. So, so we were going to have to repair it to keep it. And back in 1988, we repaired the dam at approximately $500,000 cost to the taxpayers in Pelican Rapids. So this time it would be over $1 million, and it's just an ongoing maintenance project. So 25 years from now, it'd have to be repaired at that time too for probably $3-4 million. And the DNR's goal is to get rid of dams in Minnesota, basically for fish migration upstream, and not only fish but also mussels. Now, we're not talking zebra mussels, but they're good mussels that fish devour and get their nourishment from. And this would also open up this Pelican River here for more sporting activities, canoeing, kayaking, and such.
Yeah, I see that one of the retailers here has kayaks for rent, so that will be good for their business.
Oh, definitely good, yeah. Yeah, people come to his store and he'll take them up to end of Prairie Lake. There's a dam, or excuse me, rock rapids there, and he'll drop them off there and they'll come back down. I've never done it myself. But it takes quite a while to get down the river as the river meanders.
I should check that out sometime.
Yes.
Okay, but for some people, like myself, I mean, I have taken many pictures over here, and I brought friends, you know, from outside the area. Oh, let's go to Pelican, and I'll show you this iconic statue, and we'll take pictures, and, you know, have great memories that way. It's going to change your cute little tourist town that way, that you're not going to have that same photograph.
It won't be the same photograph, but the photograph is really beautiful. You know, projected view of what it will look like with the rock rapids and the water cascading over the rocks. And there again, the fish can migrate upstream, as now they cannot.
Yeah. Now, do you have people that have protested it, that are upset about it?
No, not protesting. There was a little standoffishness to begin with, and which is like when change comes, you know, basically most people don't like change, but the more people saw what it was going to look like and the adaptability of our community to the Rock Rapids, and it'll definitely draw tourists, you know, visitors to our city. You know, everybody, when something is built or whatever, everybody goes the first time.
Sure.
So we'll have a lot of people that come and look at the Rock Rapids and the river view at that point also.
Why was it ever like this? I mean, way back when, you said the 1800s, they created the mill and the lumber business?
Yeah, approximately in the 1870s, there was private enterprise. They built the dam here to create electricity for a flour and lumber mill, and that's how they received their electricity, is by the dam.
City Hall here in Pelican Rapids also serves as a museum, and there are fantastic pictures and explanations of those pictures. So why don't you stop here sometime and get educated, because listen to this story. It tells about this swindler that came into town, but they thought he was a wonderful fellow to begin with. William Tuttle first built Pelican Rapids' first flour mill and envisioned a thriving mill industry using the water power of the Pelican River. His dream was thwarted, however, in 1872 with the arrival of a charming Englishman. And listen to his name. It was Lord Gordon Gordon. Beware, Gordon Gordon. He didn't just have one Gordon. He had two Gordons. He made extravagant claims of wealth and promised to turn the village into a major city. He persuaded many landowners to deed over their property. What residents didn't realize was that Lord Gordon Gordon was a notorious swindler, and he had conned investors across the nation, including New York Railroad magnate Jay Gould. You don't mess with him. Soon after cheating Pelican businessmen, Gordon Gordon was identified and pursued into Manitoba, where he was arrested, eventually killed himself. He put a pistol ball through his head. But that's one of the many stories when we see Pelican Pete out here. And you know, the whole mill, there's a lot of history behind it. Up above here, we hear about the good guy, Randolph Frazee, born in Ohio. He came here, owned lumber, flour, and banking business in Pelican Rapids. Fergus Falls Journal says that Frazee had built a flour mill furnished with the latest and most improved machinery. With the arrival of the Great Northern Railroad in 1882, the success of Pelican Rapids was ensured. Now there was a direct route in and out of Pelican for people, product, and materials. Like so many towns around here, well, around our entire region, the railroad was key. It would make you or break you. You told me that you even looked into hydropower from this, but it wasn't cost effective for the city?
Yes, we did a study approximately 15 years ago, because there was people asking, well, you know, why don't you use this dam to create electricity for the city? It wouldn't create all the electricity we need, but it'd sure be helpful. And we did do a study, and we hired a consultant to look into that, but it was just cost prohibitive. The money we'd have to put into this dam and structure it truly outweighed the benefits.
So where do you get your electricity now?
Ours comes from Otter Tail Power Company.
Okay. Now, when we arrived today, both Raina and I jumped to the conclusion when we saw over here, well, it looks pathetic. You know, the fishing dock is mired in the mud. There's no water around it. What's the story behind that? It wasn't just the drought of 2021. We're talking August 31st right now. So when we look at that, it looks pretty tough.
Yes.
What's the story?
The story is the drought did contribute, of course, to the lowering of the lakes, and whatever comes from Prairie Lake comes across this river here in Pelican Rapids. So there was less water coming across the Rock Rapids at Prairie Lake, but also working with the DNR, we plan on starting construction of this Rock Rapids, you know, late fall when the ground starts firming, freezing up, so they can get heavy equipment in here. So our goal was to draw this river down to as low as we could get it by the end of August, which is today. And it actually did come a little sooner. I think a couple weeks ago it got to its low point. Okay. So now there's no water going over the dam, but there's a channel on the south side of the dam with valves that we can operate, and so the water's flowing through those tubes or channels downstream.
Yeah, because we can hear some of it.
Yes.
Okay, so this fall the construction will start?
Correct.
Or later on when the ground is frozen. And you tell me that great big block-looking building, you call it the windmill building?
That's the nickname we gave it, the windmill building.
Because it's got a windmill on the front of it, which I had to look twice to see that windmill. But instead, I just see the sign that says "win" on the side. But that's going to go?
That'll be demolished. At this point, it's not usable. There was a couple businesses 10, 15 years ago to try to operate out of that building. They would rent it from the city, but there's so much moisture and condensation, and everything is just dripping with moisture, water running down the wall, so it wasn't usable at that point.
Because the cement just retains
So we're going to demolish that building, and the Pelican you see down here is going to be moved to the south side of the new Rock Rapids, where it's more visible from the Main Street Bridge.
Mr. Pelican is going to move.
Pelican Pete.
Pelican Pete we weren't on a first name basis before. Okay, and so when people drive by, because I always do kind of crane my neck to see, you know, if he's still there. So he will be far more visible in the future.
Definitely more visible, yes.
Okay, that's not going to be easy to do.
No, it won't. It does need a little repair now. I mean, it was built, I think, in 1957, so so it's been around a little while, not as long as me, of course, but it's been around, and so we've done some maintenance to it in the past, but now is the time for a major maintenance upgrade.
Pelican Pete is 9 years younger than you are.
Okay. You don't have to tell the public that.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job. You have a good attitude about this. Some people could be just so upset over change.
I know, yeah. No, not everybody likes change, and there's some change that I don't like either, but I think it's for the future. You know, we look to the future of the city of Pelican Rapids, and you know, so there's less cost down the road for the youth that are growing up here now and to decide to stay in Pelican Rapids.
Brent, it's great to meet you.
Yes, you too. Kathy.
My new best friend.
Okay. What about Pelican Pete?
Oh, he goes along with the package too. Okay. Thank you all for joining us. Kathy Coyle signing off from Pelican Pete's neighborhood here in Pelican Rapids, Minnesota.